Tommy Jones is one of the most popular and most talented bowlers we've ever seen on the PBA Tour, and he's proved this with a vast array of titles throughout a professional career now spanning almost 25 years. His last title came in 2020, which put him into elite company as part of the 17 players in PBA history to win at least 20 PBA titles. He's also won over $2 million in prize money up until the end of the 2022 season. Jones is currently 45 years of age, and although it's now been some time since his last title, he's certainly still capable of winning again on tour. So even though we know what an incredible bowler Tommy Jones is, I still think that he's quite underrated, mainly because I think people either forget or just don't realise how dominant he was at the beginning of his career. And when you look at his stats and what he managed to achieve in such a short space of time, you start to realise that actually back then, he was on the levels of the likes of Walter Ray, Pete Webber, Norm Duke, and likewise more recent players like Belmo, Anthony Simonson, EJ Tackett, etc. So in this video, we're going to focus on the period of Jones's career where he was most dominant. Once we've discussed this, I think many of you might start to agree that actually, many of us have forgotten just how good he was in his prime. Jones started his PBA journey when he joined the tour in the year 2000. To be honest, it was quite a rocky start for him. He made the TV finals just 4 times over his first 3 full seasons and failed to capture his first title. His debut TV appearance came at the 2002 Las Vegas Open. He lost to Ricky Ward in the semi-final match, and he was actually very unlucky not to advance. He left 3 10-pins in a row in the 8th, 9th and 10th frames, and this allowed Ward to double in the 10th to advance. He made another appearance in 2002 at the Memphis Open as part of a wildcard match against Brian Smith. Jones struggled in this one with 2 early open frames, but it didn't make too much difference as his opponent, Brian Smith, would have the front 9 and finish with a 278 game. Now let's look at 2004, and the start of this season saw Jones start to show the world just what he was about. He made the cut to match play in 20 of 21 events and ended up being perfect in the TV finals, winning the titles in all 4 of his final round appearances. Winning 4 titles in a single season is an incredibly special feat, and it's generally reserved for the greats of the game. Not something you would expect from somebody 26 years of age yet to win a PBA title. But even though he won 4 titles in a single season, he didn't even win Player of the Year. That award went to Patrick Allen, who won 3 titles, although one of them was a major, the World Championship. Another thing that probably went in Allen's favour was that he made the top 5 in all 4 majors that season. Now at the time, some might have wondered if Jones's breakout season was a bit of a fluke. Well, he certainly squashed that idea because the 05-06 season was equally impressive, if not more so. He won another 4 titles that season, which did earn him PBA Player of the Year honour this time around. He would have been beyond robbed if they had snubbed him 2 years in a row, and because of this, he became the second bowler to win both PBA Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year awards in a career alongside Mike Albee. He cashed in 20 of 21 events, made match play in 19 events, made the TV finals 6 times, and earned over $300,000, the highest amount of all players that season. To top it off, one of those 4 titles was his first major win, the 2006 US Open. So that's now 8 titles in just 2 years, and you can see how dominant Jones was during this period. Suddenly, almost out of nowhere, he was tearing up the PBA Tour. A nice stat that demonstrates both his dominance and consistency is that he had a 15-game TV match win streak, which was broken in this season, and this was actually just 1 win short of the all-time record set by Jim Pencack. At this point, I'd also just like to talk about Jones's opponents in these title matches. I'm going to read out who he beat in the title matches of the 8 titles he won in 2 seasons. Muniro Sendan, Brian Voss, Tony Reyes, Liz Johnson, Norm Duke, Wes Malott, Mike Scroggins and Ryan Schaefer. That is some list. Now, no disrespect to Minoru Sendan, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He was a Japanese player who Jones beat in the Japan Cup for his first title. I don't know much about him, if I'm being completely honest, although to make the finals in that sort of tournament, he had to have been pretty good. But when you look at the other names I just read out, he's not beating rookies or random bowlers, he was defeating the very best bowlers around. And to do that with such poise and with such a high win rate too is incredibly impressive. Jones simply could not be stopped in the 2004 and 2005 season. Now let's move on to the 06-07 season, because Jones' dominant run did not stop there. He would continue to be red hot, winning the 2006 Ace Hardware Championship, beating Wes Malott in the title match, and then he won his second major of his career, the Tournament of Champions in 07, defeating the late Tony Reyes. So while it wasn't as good as his seasons in 04 and 05, 2 titles including a major is nothing to sneeze at. And it shows you what a high standard he had set when it almost feels like 2 titles is a bad season for him. The 07-08 season would see Jones continue to collect titles with ease. He won his 11th PBA title at the 2008 ConstructionJobs.com Championship. This win meant he joined Mika Koivuniemi as the only 2 bowlers to win a title on all 5 of the PBA's animal oil patterns: shark, chameleon, cheetah, scorpion and viper. This is such an amazing feat in my eyes, as it just shows what a versatile bowler he is, and he would also win the Geico Classic for his 12th PBA title in that season as well. But all good things must come to an end, and finally this dominant run finished in the 08-09 season, when he did not manage to win a title, although he did cash in 20 out of 21 events. So let's just take a little breather and look back on what we've discussed so far. Quite simply, what Tommy Jones managed to achieve is mind-boggling. 12 titles in 5 years, 2 seasons where he won 4 titles in a single season, 2 majors, Player of the Year honours in 2005, and an incredible win rate, winning his first 12 titles in just 20 TV finals appearances. That in my mind puts Jones right up there with the greats, and when looking at how good a player is, I always think that dominance is the one determining factor you simply have to consider, and Jones was simply dominant over several years, blowing away top quality opponents with ease. Summing up the rest of his career, Jones went back to the winner's circle in 2010 at the Japan Cup, which was the 3rd time he's won the event, and since then he's steadily added to his title collection and now sits at a total of 20 titles. I still think he has another couple of titles in him, but even if he never wins again, he's done more than enough to place himself amongst the greats of the PBA Tour. And that is going to bring us to an end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video, but really the main reason I wanted to make this is, yes, I think we all know what a fantastic bowler Tommy Jones is. I just think a lot of people perhaps forget just how the dominant run he had at the start of his career. And to me, it was so impressive that I felt I simply had to make a video going over it, because what he managed to do in that period of 4 or 5 years was simply astounding. As always, I would love to hear from you in the comment section below. Let me know whether you think Tommy Jones will win another PBA title in the next year or 2. And as always, thank you very much for your support. And if you have enjoyed this video and you've yet to subscribe, I'd really appreciate it if you would click the subscribe button below. That will be all for today. And as always, thank you, bowling fans, and see you all next time.